Hi, this is Lee Street Beat, and I'm Sandra Tucker, and I'm here with T the Man and S Hacker. Today, we are starting our podcast. A little bit about me. I'm originally from Chicago. I used to do a little stand-up. I've done a lot of plays. I've done a little stage managing. I even been in jail in a couple of Tyler Perry shows. But today, it's all about Lee Street Beat. T the Man, tell them your story.
Hey, I'm T the Man. I am from the Midwest, now relocated in the South. I'm having a time adjusting to these folks down here because they just don't think the way I think. I'm living in actually neighbors full of Trump territory. But you know what? I try to educate them on things and keep them away from Fox News if I can. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, S. Hacker, tell us all about you, baby.
All right, I am S. Hacker. I am a cybersecurity researcher, and I've held positions in various industries, including the financial industry, the retail industry, and educational institutions. I have experience with all aspects of enterprise cybersecurity, and I hold 3 international certifications. And that is all you need to know right now.
Well, you know what? I think that's good. You know what? Today is kind of an epic day, and the day is kind of sad. Today, Bill Cosby has been found guilty. So that's what we're going to talk about here at Lee Street Beat. I think all of us here have a little story about how we feel about Bill Cosby. I, for one, was a kid growing up in Chicago and raised in Evanston, and I remember, enjoying watching Fat Albert. I grew up watching I Spy. I ate a lot of Jell-O. And you know what? He was America's dad. But somewhere along the way, something went wrong, and he expressed a lot of, what has come to pass in his comedy. But, he's 80 years old. He's been found guilty. He's had a lot of women accuse him. And T-Man, I just want to know, man, what you feeling today? What you feeling like?
Well, I'm feeling that Dr. Cosby is paying for his sins. All the good he did, all the encouragement he did, the people that he helped has been washed away by his immoral acts. A lot of, there could be some woman who's bringing false accusation against him, but one woman who I felt who was truthful was Janice Dickerson when she came out and said that he came, he picked her up, gave her drugs, took advantage of her. That was
Picked
wrong.
up from rehab.
Yeah, got her right out the rehab place, put her back on drugs so he could take sexual advantage of her. That's wrong. You pay for your sins. If you don't pay for them now, you will pay for them later. Now, the thing about it is he done wrong, and he never felt that he needed to ask the Lord for forgiveness. So therefore, they say the Lord works in mysterious ways. He would have never dreamed that he'd be 80 years old, blind, can't walk, now going to prison. He's too old to fight. He's going to be taken advantage of, just like the women were. 17 women, and it just kept climbing. They were coming out like roaches. Somebody put light on them, and it was a light of truth. And they came.
Wasn't it Time Magazine that they had like all 50 women on? Wasn't it Time Magazine? Yep. It was like astonishing to see all those women on that magazine. It really hurt.
He's going to appeal. And we know that he's going to appeal his story. After 20 years, 30 years, you really can't say that, he got justice. He got some justice, but we don't know if it was the fair justice. Obviously, the things that he did, he's supposed to be punished for. But when you got a man, it's like a man, 82 years old, something happened when he was in his 50s and 60s, 20 years. You know what? He was in an indefensible position. But you know what? He done wrong because he admitted it in his deposition that he done these things. And
that's what you think about
that he paid for. And it is what it is.
I don't know if he's too old to be punished. What you think, Ash?
All right, I agree with T the Man. He did. It's not a question of whether he did it or not. He himself said it, as T the Man said, in his deposition. I believe what he said. The women, that's extra proof of what had occurred. But again, it came straight from his mouth. Yes, I gave women quaaludes so that I could have sex with them.
Yes,
That's
and
all
then
I
you can
had
say
to
it
say
was
about it. You know, if you admit guilt, then you should not be shocked when you're found guilty.
Well, apparently he was. And I mean, you're 80 some years old. You expect your legal team to appeal it. I mean, that's
well. This is his, I believe, his second or so appeal. So his legal team has always, been good about appealing, and they said they will appeal this again. But I just think that for a lot of people who doubted the system, who doubted that there would ever be justice, a lot of them are feeling vindicated today. A lot of these women, they've really been suffering for a long time, and they feel like their voice got heard. It's just sad, because when I think about it, and I think you touched on it a little bit, T, that he did so much for the HBCUs. I mean, he really did open up a lot of doors for a lot of people, and it's just really sad to say that what he's not his legacy is not going to be the same. It's just not going to be the same, and we're not going to look at him the same.
All right. I truly hate it for his kids too. They had nothing to do with this, and they will suffer in not necessarily in the press, but in real life. Because again, sometimes people can be very cruel. They didn't do any of these things. He was
noticeably, his wife has not been there either. So it just seems like there's a lack of support, and also understand that. I mean, his wife, like him, she's elderly,
Right. It's a lot.
Exactly.
It really is.
It looks like the sins of the family are going to, the sins of the father, the family is going to have to pay for his sins.
Exactly. And they had nothing to do with his so-called good time.
Yeah. Well, so, T-Man, I don't know if you were aware of Donald Trump, but he went on Fox News this morning and had like a impromptu interview with Fox and Friends. I have to admit I was watching another station, but of course that station reported on what was going on in Fox.
And I did see some of the news things that came on, and he identified himself as Donald from Washington D.C. If I would have called and said I'm T the man from Washington D.C., they wouldn't took my call, but they know who Donald from Washington D.C. It must have been that White House number that they got on speed dial.
Exactly.
It is pitiful the way that man went on and rant and out of the stream of reality.
Right.
Like Michael Cohen, I only did a little business with them. Well, you know what? That's what they're saying. They're saying that he wasn't doing any legal work for you.
Exactly.
So that's why they got the files. But I mean, Michael Cohen is looking at a lot of time. He's looking at.
They said that possibly 30 years.
Robert Mueller is thorough. And you know what? He's going to give Michael Cohen an offer. See your children before they grow up, or you spend the rest of your life in jail when you're old and have Alzheimer's and dementia and miss out on their life. Which you going to take?
Exactly.
So Cohen is going to roll like a penny going down the sewer. So you might as well, you know what? And Donald Trump ain't going to reach down there and get him. So if he's waiting on that pardon, let me tell you, can't get it. And you know what? I don't know what the Constitution says, but I'm quite sure the Constitution has something to say that you can't bribe somebody for a pardon. That's just illegal. I mean, you got to stay within the laws.
Yeah, the president's been communicating with them. You're not supposed to be communicating when y'all under investigation,
It makes no sense. But again, he makes no sense.
He doesn't listen to his lawyers.
No, he doesn't listen. But he's paying them a lot of money. He's paying them he worse than the city of Atlanta. He paying a whole lot of money.
But you know what though? The RNC is paying like 20% of the RNC's money is going to his legal defense.
Exactly.
You can't say that, but
yeah. Well, you know what? Listen, they rich. They can afford to pay out 20, 40. They're all billionaires. It's the Billionaires Boys Club, so let them pay.
Exactly.
All they're going to do is make the lawyers fat, and they're going to go and give to Democratic candidates. They don't know that, but that's how they do. All them law firms, hey, that's where the criminals are. So, and that's it.
I just want to say, as a Chicagoan who really, loves hip hop and has always really loved Kanye West, I had to unfollow him today.
Yeah, he's completely lost it.
They calling him Trump yay. And kind of married him.
You know,
And you know what? I just got to leave it like that because, I just got this real messed up relationship with Kanye because I really do love him, but he's just, I mean, he did say he liked Hillary too, but it's just like, I can't with him. I just can't.
I never thought I would be saying this, but I feel sorry for Kim Kardashian.
And Donald Trump.
Because she was a big Hillary supporter, and she's married to this man who's already crazy. Well, let's say he has mental issues. And
let's say that.
The fact that he's there talking about he got love for Trump, and he tries to explain it and clean it up. But listen, you know what? You can't be having love for somebody when you have 3 biracial children who this man despises and thinks it's okay if they get stopped on the street by the police, get harassed, get shot. You have a son. You have to think about the consequences of the people who you supported. These people aren't there.
Well, my thing about Kanye that seems to, mess me up with him is that he could sit and say, to say that George Bush hate black people, but you could turn around and say that you love Donald Trump. I'm done.
Exactly.
That's my whole problem with him. Because you know what? When he came out and said that, I was one of the few people who said, you know what? Y'all may not want to hear that, but you know what? It just seems when I was looking at all these people in this water, in Louisiana, I mean, it just seemed like right about then that, George Bush was not feeling black people. And everybody got on Kanye about that. But you say that about George Bush, but you don't say that about Trump.
Exactly.
I'm confused.
He's doing everything he can to erase the memory of Barack Hussein Obama.
Yeah, because Barack said that he was an idiot,
But he is.
Yeah, he is. Well, listen, y'all.
I'm going to say this. I think we're going to have to end on that note and come back later. Welcome to the Lee Street Beat. This is where we make a difference with a point. So thank you for tuning in on the Lee Street Beat.
Give us that social media shout out.
I want to shout out, check out our YouTube channel, Lee Street Beat, and give us an opinion on what you think of the show.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much. We out.